Time to run down to your local baker and grab a big old container of cookies. But even though those cookies are yummy, what we want is that decorative lid. It is perfect for this project. We're going to measure it straight across and get about 10 inches. Lay out some cardboard, and we're going to pick a bowl that's round for us to mark, and this one is the perfect size. Just go ahead and lay it on the cardboard and take a marking pen and get you that perfect circle. Now it's time to mix up our cement. The best way to do it is pour a little bit of water in your mixing bucket first, and then go ahead and add your concrete. Now, word of advice, do this in a well-ventilated area. You can tell that it gets pretty dusty. If you need a little bit more water, just add it. Now, I use my drill and a mixing spoodle to put it together. If you need to hand mix it, go ahead. Just do a little bit at a time so it's not too hard. Once we get it mixed, carefully lay it inside the bucket. You can see the consistency here is like some really good pudding. Just put it in. Now, once you get the right amount in, you're going to go ahead and just shake it all up. This allows that concrete to spread and fill all the little gaps. If you need to add a little bit more, but remember, just shake it back and forth. Cut some strips of wood. This one is going to be full 10 inches across, and the other ones are going to be 4 each. So you're going to put the large one first and then glue up the ends of the other 2 pieces. Don't be hesitant to use your finger to spread them out. This is non-toxic glue. Lay it out and fold it in. We want to make sure that all the pieces of the wood fit inside the circle. Now, take some popsicle sticks and some hot glue. You're going to lay this across the top. This is going to be our clamp that is going to hold the pieces together while that wood glue dries. Once you get one side done, flip it over. We're going to do the other side also, exactly the same way as we did the first side. Once you get these pieces on, it's so strong you couldn't even pull them apart if you tried, and that's what we want. It's time to go ahead and drill them because we want to put these caster legs on there. One for each side of the boards. So take a drill that allows those caster wheels to go right inside and drill it all the way through. See that? It fits great. And all we need to do is take some hot glue, put it in, and all 4 wheels go right in there. Now it's time to take those wood and the wheels, and we're going to just shake it back and forth to let it sink right into the concrete. This is what's going to hold it together. Just keep shaking it, and once you get it in there, it's going to hold just great. Let it dry for about 24 hours. Go ahead and turn it back over after that 24 hours is up. We're going to use a knife, and we're going to start cutting away the plastic. Just do this because once you cut it, and be careful, we don't want to cut up the side of the concrete. We need to get some air in there. That's what's going to release our mold from the concrete. Just keep working it all the way around the side. Once you get it up, look at that. Look at that smooth, beautiful concrete. It looks like it even has a mirror finish to it. I couldn't have been more happy. Now it's time to go ahead and take it outside and test it. Make sure that it spins on those wheels. And we've got the perfect base for a rolling planter. It works perfect. You can roll it around clean underneath, and it looks great. I hope this inspired you to build your own concrete rolling DIY planter. Thanks for watching Home Talk, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, so these pots were already here when we moved in, and I knew that I wanted to give them a makeover without having to buy new pots. So to get started, we are going to be using spackling. All right, so to get started, like I said, I have the spackling. It is pink, but don't worry, it is not going to dry pink. It will actually dry white. So I'm just taking a simple spackling knife, and we're gonna spread it on all over the pot. As you can see, I'm gonna get a thin layer. You wanna get enough on there though. We're gonna do another really cool technique. So you wanna get enough on there though, where it's a good layer, but not so much that it's gonna take forever to dry. So we're gonna go all the way around. We're going to get the entire pot covered, and then I can't wait to show you what we have next. Okay, so as you can see, we're gonna go ahead and do this in parts because the spackling is starting to dry. So you can see where it's going from pink to white right here. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna do like a stamping technique using chicken wire. So we cut this down into the shape that we wanted, and we're gonna take the chicken wire and place it right up against the spackling and press it in. You wanna just kind of press it in all over. I wanted to add this just to add a little more texture. If you wanted to, you could just leave the plaster and move on to the next step, but I wanted my pots to look a little more custom and different, so I'm super excited how these are going to turn out. So you're going to press these in. If you can, you may want to have a helper help you do this. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be really interesting looking. So I'm pressing it in all over, and then we're going to remove it, and you can see here where it's just going to give it a little bit of almost like a beehive look to it. I think it's going to look really cool. Okay, so now that we've gone ahead and stamped both of our pots, we're going to go ahead and let them dry. As you can see, it is starting to dry. You can see the white coming through. We've got to give it a few hours to make sure it is really good and dry, and then we're going to start painting. Okay, so now that everything is dry, you can see that it's dried white. There's no pink spots left. It's time to go ahead and paint. I am going to be spray painting. You know how much I love spray paint. I'm using an indoor-outdoor spray paint by Rust-Oleum, and this color is Heirloom White. Okay, so when you're spray painting, you want to make sure that you do a back and forth motion. We are going to have to do a few coats. As you can see, this plaster gave the pot such a unique look, and I really love how some of these dark spots are actually showing through. So we're going to keep spray painting, and then we have another technique that we're going to use to add a little bit more texture and make this look like real cement pottery. Okay, so now that the first coat is dry, we're going to go ahead and add our second coat, and then we're going to add some texture. As you can see while I'm spraying, I'm getting good coverage, but I'm not being a perfectionist about it. I love the imperfections of these pots and kind of what the spackle has created. So just make sure you get good coverage. If you feel like you want more paint or you want paint in one spot more than another, just kind of play with it and see how it's going to turn out as you go. So now that we have both coats of the spray paint dry, I'm going to go in and I want to add some of this multicolor texture by Rust-Oleum. I love that it's going to actually give the plaster a more rustic feel, and it just adds a little extra texture to the pot itself. As you can see, it adds some depth to the color, and it gives it just that sandy look that we're going for. I cannot believe how well these pots turned out. They turned out better than I expected, and they perfectly match the aesthetic of my house. I hope you love them as much as I do. Let me know if you decide to make a pot of your own or to make over a pot of your own. I would love to see it. Thank you again for watching, and I can't wait to see you all again soon.